G'day guys, Gary here from Platform 1 MRC. Behind this slow moving train is my rendition of the Miami Produce Centre. Now what you may recall, I built this building out of cardboard, and that originally on the layout plan I was to have something completely different on the other side here. What I ended up doing, as you're aware, is that I ended up putting a fiddle yard over there rather than another industry. I hadn't placed a wall on the back of the building as yet, but I have now. The wall that I built is made from 3mm card, and it's been clad in a few different products. I'm just going to pan to the left here and show you where the wall was extended to include an area of the hard stand here. As you can see here, excuse me 1 minute, I'm just going to close that loco down. As you can see here, I've extended the wall past the hard stand down to the end here. And that cardboard there has been treated with strips of corrugated card. Now the corrugated card I use is from a company called Broad Gauge Bodies here in Australia. So that's been coloured and textured. Now I want to go something different rather than the rendered concrete here. And the different texture shows that the building may have been built in stages. Like this may have been built later, or it could have been part of an existing building previously. So the roller door there on it is just the same as the roller doors down here on the Produce Centre. It's just 1mm thereabouts corrugated evergreen styrene that's just been framed out with a bit of a 1.5mm angle. Now that's changed the look of this building immensely and given that deeper section of hardstand here a purpose. So what I'm about to do is move the camera around to the other side of the layout, and you can see what I've completed there. Okay, so we're here on the other side of the building now, and as you can see I've treated it completely different to what you've seen earlier. Rather than use some of the golden fibre paste that I've used on other buildings and made a rough texture to this wall, I decided to print out some of the scale scenes painted white brick paper. Now I think I printed 5 sheets, A4 sheets of that, and covered the back of this cardboard entirely. I also scalloped out some of the areas of the cardboard where these fans are and inserted them. Those 3 fans there are from the Blair Line range of products of their laser cut kits, and they come in 3 parts, and each section, the backing, the fan and the outer cover there that you can see here, is all sticky backed. So once you free them from the sprue or they're cut out, you paint the parts up. Actually I painted them while they were still on there, and then you just basically peel off the backing sticky sheet and layer them up, and that's the sort of result you get. I'll post up a closer photograph for you. This scale scenes paper, it is cheap. I think I paid £2, which is roughly say just under $4 Australian for it, but you can download it and print it off 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times. Once you've purchased the download, it's yours to play with. Now I know when I first ordered this scale scenes paper, it only came as a brick printed sheet. Now I'm not sure if the price has gone up, but now you get window arches, window ways, a few other additions to it to make scratch building so much easier, and gives you bigger and better options. I'm just going to move the camera down a little bit further and just show you the downpipe, or well, I'll say water main that I've added to the building as well. Here's the water main that I've added, and as you can see, it's just 2mm or 2.4mm evergreen styrene rod that's been heat treated and bent to shape. A few little brackets have been added to the side here. It's a trick that I learned off Boomer dioramas, or Boomer I should say, and it certainly just changes the feel of the building. I haven't added a lot of pipes and conduits to the back of this building, simply because, you know, it is the back, it's an unwanted area, it backs onto a railway line, and it's not really part of the produce centre when you think about it this way. The produce centre is actually on the other side. So for a blank wall, it's amazing what you can do. Now you see a lot of streaking and what have you on the building itself. Now that isn't part of the scale scenes print. Although this change in brickwork through here, as you can see down through there, is part of it. The streaking is done by using weathering powders. I actually used pastels from, I can't remember what brand they were, but they were just a cheap brand. Just used green around the water pipes, a bit of a tanny brown colour along the base to simulate splashed up dirt and what have you. And then just a dark grey to create the streaks that run down off the wall. So it's just a simple little addition that's highlighted at the back of this area quite nicely. While we're on scratch building, let's go to have a look at the Ferrous Processing plant that I'm slowly constructing. Okay, back in on the dining room table now, you can see the construction of the Ferrous Processing plant. Now that is lying down on its side. The longer white strip here is the low wall that's on the outside of the building itself. And you can see what I suppose you could almost call them outriggers, or the vertical posts and the roof supports, which are these, being glued into place. What I did do when I constructed these pieces, made up this jig here where I could actually lay one section in first, followed by the roof section on top. Now that allowed me to make all these of uniform size and shape. Just going to move the camera down a bit further and show you how I support the posts while gluing them to the wall. Okay, as you can see, I've got a piece of timber that's nailed onto the bottom of this MDF here, and a couple of strips of pine on the side there too. What they do, they actually enable me to stand this up, as you can see, as such, and drop it in position to glue. Keeps them nicely spaced apart too, or vertical I should say, because the spacing here is around about 72 millimeters, I think it is, maybe 82 millimeters between the two here anyway. 82, yeah. So anyway, what I end up doing is just moving this along where it needs to go. I've got marks on the plastic down through here, and then I take the next piece and glue it in position as such. So it's freestanding, hold it there, I leave it there for about 20 minutes for the glue to go off, then I basically lift up, move along and drop the next one into position. So that's where I'm at with this at the moment. Once this gets done, I'll be adding some sections to the roof pieces. I'll just move this down so you can see. And the sections I mean are the horizontals that run along the roof here, which actually support the roof. And I've picked up some evergreen styrene. I think it's roof cladding. One of the packets there, or a couple of packets, which I'll be adding to the roof of this in the long run. Now, some of you may think, how am I going to keep this vertical like that without it toppling over? Simple answer is, I'm going to be using styrene tube and rod. Now I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about doing that. As we know, all evergreen styrene in the tube is telescopic. So we've got 4mm, 6mm, and I think I've got a wider one here, could be 8mm, and they all slide into each other. So I'll probably be using this 6mm and this 4mm, and I'll be gluing the 4mm onto the inside there, away from the viewing side, and the 6mm will be drilled down into the baseboard. So that'll sit down, and these will drop in, keeping this wall and these posts vertical on the layout. It will be removable, the reason being I need to get under there to clean the track once the roof is over the top here. Okay, well, I managed to get more done than what I had thought I'd get done today, and as you can see here, and I'll move this further down here, you can see the black uprights. Now they've been drilled through the balsa here, through the foam, and actually into the baseboard below. They are around about 63mm in height, which is probably almost 3 inches long. Now on the back of the wall here, hopefully you can see the stays here, 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 and one further down the end here. Now what they are, they're the 6mm diameter evergreen styrene tube, and this is a 4mm. And we simply now take the structure and slide it onto position. Hopefully I'm not in your way. And it becomes freestanding. These upright posts actually help it stand in position, and the chamfer on the top actually helps it to locate for dropping it into position with a little bit of a play. And there we have the beginnings of the processing plant in place. There we have it, and as you can see, I'll just take that block out. The whole structure is freestanding, won't topple over, it's quite strong, so I'm quite happy with that. What I've got to get on to now is fitting a roof, fitting the diagonal bracing through here, paint, weather, etc. Please don't mind that bit of track in the background, it's only there, it's just a bit of old scrap. So there we have it, around about 50% complete, so I'm pretty happy with the progress so far. Anyway, that's it so far for this video. I'm sure when I get the next video done, this should be near completed. Thanks again for watching. Cheers, Gary.